What is going on, Governor? It's Chisgule here, and today we're going to show you what it looks like to train a ridiculous amount of troops for Mighty Governor. If you like Rise of Kingdoms videos where we train troops, maybe do well in Mighty Governor, hard to say actually from day one, you should like and subscribe, and we are a sponsored creator with Rise of Kingdoms. It's Troop Training Day. Troop Training Day, and the Mighty Governor, and we'd really like to unlock Constantine. This is what I wanted to show you. We want to just make sure we get the sculptures because we've noticed in this game that sometimes sculptures are available and then they just disappear and don't come back. So we want to make sure we snag this commander. While they are snaggable, they're here now. Let's at least get the 10 sculptures we need to unlock, which is rank 15 or higher. So we're going to train a freaking boatload of troops. Boy. We've got, by my calculations, north of 500 days of speed ups, which is pretty decent. Should do pretty well. Maybe we'll gain 5 million power. I don't actually know how much power we'll gain here. I will point out that this is what our troops look like before we go in and do the training. And I did some strategizing. I did this well this time. Instead of kind of winging it, I actually said in advance of getting the buff, which we will get any moment now. How exactly do I want my troop distribution to look after we've completed this Mighty Governor? Because you can do some pretty major course correction. And if we were being really slick, we'd pop a bunch of resource tokens in advance because we've done all the calculations. We haven't. It's close enough. We got like almost 300 million of each resource, so it's probably not going to be enough to power all the way through this, but it's going to get us pretty far. So I think that we need to do a couple things with our troop distribution at this point. When we run Ark of Osiris, typically we've got an Archer March, and we can fill that with T5s. We've got more than enough. With a 50% expansion, we need 310,000. So we're good on Archers for T5s. We also are pretty good on Cavalry with T5s. We can fill 2 marches. I'd love if we could do a third. But I'm not attached to the idea of having a third. So I'm on the fence there. It's not my highest priority. And I really would like to get to a place where I can have 2 marches of T5 infantry. And that is because we've seen a number of infantry commanders come into the game recently, and I think that infantry could be very, very important moving forward. In the open field especially. If you like the idea of a murder ball, by the way, I'll probably put a card up in the top about that. I think infantry are actually deceptively good for that situation, so I'm honing in on infantry being important in the future. So what does that mean? What I want to do is have a second march of T5 infantry in place. So the first thing I'm going to do is get to, let's see here, how many more troops did I intend to train? 8 times 20,000 of the expansions. Here's the expansions I'm talking about, by the way. We're going to use these boosts because we're in a really busy kingdom, and like I don't have an hour to train troops. I get 15 minutes or less to power through all the troop training I want to do, right? So we're going to use reserves. We're going to use 8 of these 20,000 reserves, so 160,000 troops, of additional T5 infantry, which I think is a pretty good situation. From there, we want to beef up our infantry roster in case we need an additional army of infantry, and we're going to do that with T4s. To start, we're going to rock 100,000 T4s. From there, I do want to have a full army of T4 archers, so we're going to rock 120,000 of the T4 archers. And then I think I'm going to dump everything else I've got into T5 cavalry, and maybe get to a third march of cavalry. Now, it could be, I've heard rumor that the new commanders coming into the game that aren't here yet might be archer commanders. It could be I'm under-indexing on how important it is to have archers, T5 archers. I'm going to assume for now that I only need 1 march of T5s, and in the worst case situation, at least I've got 2 full marches of archers. Some of them will be T4. And I think that's an okay situation. Now, before you go completely ham, spending a bunch of speed ups, there's a couple things that you should just do a check on. The first is, do you have your rune? lined up. We've got our Rune of the War Drum, 10%. I'd rather have 15%, but 10%'s what we got, because this is aligning with a kingdom buff for 10%. So both of those buffs are active. This is a good starting point. Of course, your own research goes a really, really long way. Your civilization can contribute, and it's entirely possible that with enough training, you should swap over to a different civilization and then swap back for other things that you want to do. So we're really passionate about Ark of Osiris League. We think that using I think it's the Ottoman Empire. What are we now? Yes, it is Ottoman. For the march speed and the extra 5% damage to the skill attack is pretty gosh darn powerful. So we're not planning to swap to a troop training civilization. That includes Britain. That also includes Germany. We're not going to do that because it's a total of 10,000 gems in each direction, so 20k total. To swap to it and then swap back for Ark of Osiris League, maybe we should have just been Germany for a really long time, but we're not going to make that swap in this case because I don't think the math works out. Although if I did that wrong on 500 days of speed ups, let me know. I used the VIP rate from the day-long purchase speed ups to make that calculation. Anyways, so we're going to do a ton of training. We've got all the buffs we want, and it's important that you also have a lot of alliance buffs. Those come from holy sites. Now we have, let's see here, troop training speed of 10% from the Shrine of War, and we have, holy moly, do these guys not have a 5%? This is tragic. Today I learned. We don't have an additional 5%. I think it's a Sanctum that offers training speed as well. Or it's a really busy kingdom, right? A lot of alliances in here. We got to share the love. So that's probably what's happened there. But you can get 10% from a Shrine of War and 5% from an altar. Unless I overlooked it and I just didn't see it. But I don't think we have one. That would offer you a total of 15%. I can show you exactly what I'm talking about since we're waiting for the buff anyways. This might be a little bit of a pain to find. But let's see here. If it's in the same physical location, by the way. That's kind of interesting. Why is this marked with a time? Oh. Well. Yeah, we might be taking this. So we might be remedying that 5% training buff that's missing. But this is where you can get another 5%. They all stack up. The way that you can see that, by the way, is if you head in to your, let's see, City Hall, you push the stats icon, which is the graph with the arrow going up, because every good graph should be with an arrow going up and to the right. And if you look at training speed, holy sites are offering us 10% now, but that could be in upwards of 15%. VIP level is also contributing, by the way. So I feel good about that combination, and we'll be back. Oh, we'll be back as soon as we've got the general to do some sweet, sweet training. My advice here, by the way, is that you kind of want to be toward the tail end of people that are doing their training. You want to be toward the tail end, and the reason I say that, holy moly, is that see stuff like this happens, where someone goes completely ham on their training. And if you're the first one to go ham, King of Armenia in this case went ham, right? You could be passed by someone else who sees how far you went and then goes even further. So I don't love being first in the lineup. You want to be kind of one of the last people to get the torch to go completely crazy with the general, which that's right. There's one other buff. The general. You've got to have the general if you can get it. General is a 10% troop training buff. It comes from the Lost Temple. One of the kingdom rulers has to offer it. There's 4 people that can do that. That includes, let's see here, the king and, oh, I guess general. Let's see here. No, it has to be the king. Gosh, wow. It's been so long since I've been the king. It's so good to forget those responsibilities. Only the king can give out the general. So, thank you for being online, king, and passing around those titles. Yes. So Inglorious has to pass General. Can't be passed by the Queen, can't be passed by the Prime Minister. It's honestly a pretty big burden for the King. So that's the final buff, is that 10% training speed from General. We'll get that, and we'll go freaking crazy. We'll be back soon for that sweet, sweet troop training craziness. Okay, we have received the General. Start your engines. It's time to do some freaking troop training. Here we go. So we're going to go in, and we're going to pop 8 of these, which we can do in a row. 8 is the number we wanted to use. Bada boom, off the bat. Starting with our infantry. All right, T5 infantry. So we're going to speed up what we've got here as a starting point. And now it's T5 infantry time. Just clear that out. Here we go. It's a lot of days of speed ups all at once here. Let's start this. Oh, you can see the training capacity bonus of 20,000. We have 8 chances of it. So it does stack and display in the interface, which is pretty nice. Here we go. 16 days. We want to pop the big speed ups first, because day-long speed ups are kind of a pain in the butt to go through. Now we'll use some training speed ups. Boom. That's 1. Now a second. All right. Now a third. Now a fourth. Okay. Oh my goodness, so many troops. Here we go. Next up, now we're going to stick to the training speed ups. No. Careful there, Chisgule. Oh my gosh. All right, just do this. Boom. All right. More infantry. Okay, so we're going to have plenty of infantry. And the thing that makes me feel good about that, by the way, is that, we can use our infantry in mixed armies as well, and that's a totally fine addition to a mixed army. We're up to 645,000 T5. All right. And looking pretty good. One more spot of that. And okay, keep doing that. Bada boom. Burn through a ton of speed ups, burn through a ton of resources. Okay, so now our troop count is looking pretty solid for T5 infantry. We can definitely feel the T5 infantry. Now we want to make sure that we've actually got enough for a T4 infantry march. So we're going to pop 5 of the T4 infantry. Well, 5 expansions. We'll do that many worth of T4 infantry. So 5 of these. Use. Now we're going to do the T4. This is probably not the most optimal way of getting points for Mighty Governor. In fact, I know it's not, but we want to have the right distribution of troops, so I feel fine about this. I feel fine about this. All right. Let's start burning through those 60-minute speed ups. They do go pretty darn fast. There's one. Here's the second. Burning through first. Now we've done the big denominations of speed ups. Now we're doing, just going through all of our troop training speed ups. We'll do this again. And by the way, we're spending so many of these speed ups because we don't need the speed ups for other things, right? Like, we've done all the research, we've done all the other stuff that there is to do. Boom. I suppose we could need healing speed ups, but we have a lot of healing speed ups right now. Okay, and Yeah, we said we'd do 2 more of these. I feel fine about that. If we just check in, by the way, to the Mighty Governor, we're cruising along, but it's a pretty competitive Mighty Governor. It's a pretty competitive Mighty Governor. Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep going here. Bada boom. Double check. General's still here. It is. We'll keep going. One more 20 spot. And we're in a pretty good spot here. Okay. Cool. Now, the next thing on the menu was some T4 archers. We wanted to rock some T4 archers, so let's jam those. We're going to head over here. We're going to speed up what we already have cooking up. All right. And now we wanted to do 6 of the T4 archer 20k. I guess it's 22k total. Chunks of training. Here we go. Bada boom. This is how we're looking so far. We actually now have almost as much infantry as cavalry, which is kind of insane how much we just trained. Time to go get some archers. 6 expansions worth of archers. Boom. Use. The risk with the way that we're doing this, by the way, is that we might actually run out of speed ups and have some of these huge amounts of troop training kind of dangling at the end. I'm okay with that, and I'll explain why when we get there. That's a part of the strategy. Okay, so there's 1. Feel really good about my troop totals. The other thing that I like about this approach, by the way, is that, man, in KVK, like, rallies with a bunch of T5s are really expensive. I really don't mind having a lot more T4s to fill out marches. Because, man, KVK burned through so many gosh darn troops. It's pretty freaking insane. It's pretty freaking insane. All right, so we're cruising along with these archers. Feeling good about where we're headed here. Burning a ridiculous amount of speed ups. All right. Oh, now the mysterious merchant shows up, huh? After all that. All right, well, she did show up. She did show up. Okay. And one last grouping here. So at least we've got a full march of T4s. So I can feel pretty good about that. And now, my friends, we go ham looking at our troops. We go ham on T5 cavalry. And we're going to try to get another march of those rolling. So let's see how far we land. Our power... Oh, okay. I just confused my power with my kills for a second. That was pretty crazy. We've gained like 3 million power, which is not so bad. For Mighty Governor, we're sitting in 4th. 27 million in troop training. We definitely need to do more. Let's speed up the calves that are in here. And we know we've got probably at least 5 expansions worth of T5s that we could do. So we're going to pop 5 of these. Use. And let's crank on some T5s. 16 days at a time. Let me tell you, that'll blow through the speed ups real fast. That'll blow through the speed ups real fast. Okay. There we go. First batch is in. Next batch. Here we go. Boom. Okay, next batch is in. 3 more to go, and we're going to have to start to look at our resources pretty soon here. It is insane how much people are training troops for this event. It's so insane. Holy moly. Here we go again. And ripping these speed ups like it's nothing. Okay, and we've got one more. 16 days at a time. Feel pretty good about this. We honestly might be able to make it to another full march of T5s. We'll run out of resources before we can do that. But if we just take a moment here and appreciate where we're at, probably another 6 expansions worth is in order, I would say. So, and I think we've got the speed ups for it. Let's pop 4 and see. I think we could do 6. I feel fine about that. Use. I think we can get there. We know we have the resources, so I'm not concerned about that. We definitely have the resources. Here we go. Right, I went too far. We're out of the 3-hour speed ups. This is going to get interesting. I wonder how fast we burn through these speed ups. All right, there's one. Now we need resources. Good news. We got a lot of these. A whole heck of a lot of these. All right. Speed this up. Boom. All right. More T5s. Cooking up. Here we go. 5-minute speed ups. And boom. More T5s. After this, I think we rock T4s is the way to go. If we're going to keep doing more troops, because we have the speed ups for it. I am surprised how many speed ups we had accumulated. This is pretty remarkable. Holy moly. Holy moly. Who thought all that spending we've been doing? I've just been waiting for this sort of an event to go completely freaking ham. Alright, gonna need, wow, more food already. That's cool. Oops, I just purchased some food, whatever. And gold. We're fine. Everybody's fine. Boom. Okay. Wow. So, we could do more T5. We could have planned this better, apparently. I feel better about getting a bunch of T4s lined up, so we have them. Maybe one more batch T5. Yeah, maybe 2 more batches of T5 is the play. I want to be careful about popping those extenders, so we'll use some of these lower ones. We'll pop, I don't know, 4 of these. That's fine. We're cruising. We're freaking cruising. All right, and use up more of this. Boom. Train it up. All right, do it again. Pop the food. The more efficient way of doing this would be to actually go in and just hit max on one of the stacks in our inventory. That's definitely the more efficient way of operating. All right. And we'll crank some more. I feel pretty good about the number of troops that I have right now, not gonna lie. All right. And there we go. Cranking through the 30-minute speed ups. Now it's going to go pretty quickly to run out of speed ups. All right. And we got one more batch of that. So at least we can start a matchup in Ark of Osiris with 3 full marches of T5, which feels pretty good. T5 cavalry specifically. All right. Speed that up. Speed that up. Bada boom. All right. And we can keep going. I don't know how we're doing on time. I think we're doing pretty well. Those speed ups were not the most helpful. How are we doing here? Ooh. Not so bad. We're in 3rd. We should spend every freaking speed up we've got. So let's see here. We'll pop some of these. And we'll keep going a whole bunch of these at a time. Use those up. What do I want to do? I think I want to switch gears and start to do some T4s. I'd really rather have the T4s. The Mighty Governor points are going to be better with the T5s. But let's do one more of these. We'll do one more of these. It's debatable if maybe we should go for some archers just to have the diversity. I don't hate that idea, honestly. I really don't hate that idea. All right, there's one. By the way, the first time that I had heard of people using army extenders this way, the first time I'd heard it, he's not the general, is he? Good, okay. Was from the folks that were from the Dirty Jokers. Oh my gosh, those guys were nuts, and I thought it was crazy the way they were using these extenders, and then I started training troops like they do, and I was like, oh, I totally get it. All right, we're running real low on speed ups here, so we'll stick to the T4s. We got 4 more of these to burn through. I think we have enough speed ups for that. I think we do. I guess we'll see. Crank through this. Oh yeah, we'll get there. All right, we'll do this again. Boom. Boom. All right. We're almost there. Burning through almost every single speed up we have, which is pretty crazy. It's a lot of speed ups we've burned through here. All right. Boom. We have more of these extenders, right? We do. I feel like we have a lot of cavalry at this point. Do I need more T4 cavalry? I'm going to switch gears and start going archers. I feel like that's a good plan. Okay. And I think we could pop another couple of these. Do a few more archers. Yeah, I think we could do this. All right. Boom. And get a little gold. Burn through this. We could theoretically do one more. Okay. One more. That's what we have speed ups for. Boom. The only reason that was safe to do is because we have a ton of healing speed ups. Otherwise, that would be very dangerous. Okay, we still have general. Now the finishing touch. The finishing touch is to go in, and we're going to pop 3 of these. Use. And we're going to train the max number of T5s just in case we decide that on the 4th day of this event, we need to speed those up too. And if we buy some more bundles to go and do that, entirely possible. So we're going to rock that out. This gives us the maximum benefit of having like the 10% and all these other buffs right now. So here we go. We'll crack this. Bunch of food. We still need more food. That's a lot of food. Wow. And a lot of gold. Huh. Who knew training all these troops would take up so much resources? All right, we pop that. And we set this up over here. All right, gold. Boom. And the last but not least, the cavalry. The cavalry. We got a lot of troops right now. Feeling really good about that. All right. Crank through those. Crank through the stone, the gold. Boom. Last but not least is siege units, which is kind of an interesting one. I don't really want to speed up siege units that much. Not really. But I do want to have the advantage of the speed ups here for this. So I'll pop, let's say, a 10 spot. And we'll do an upgrade of T4s to T5s because I really want to minimize the volume of troops that I have that are siege. Yeah, this will work. Okay. Line this up. This uses up a lot of resources. Okay, and we are done with the general. Holy moly, let me put it into chat. Done general. Whew. That was crazy. Final troop counts. After spending like a madman. That was multiple max purchases worth of speed ups. We're looking at now, I feel good about this, a full extended march of T4 infantry. We've still got 2 solid extended marches of cavalry, and we now have an extended march of T4 archers. In the T5 category, we now have 2 solid full extended marches of T5 infantry. We've got a solid 3 extended marches of cavalry, T5, and we still have 1.5-ish marches of T5 archers, which is cool. I'll take it. We gain something like 6.5 million power, which is, again, pretty nuts. 7.5 million power? I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. Our Mighty Governor ranking is 3rd. And it's not going to go any higher than 3rd, I suspect. We're not contesting Abiles. We're not going to contest King, probably out of principle. Yay. So, I don't know. Will we unlock? I just want the 15 sculptures. I just want 15 sculptures, 10 sculptures. I just want 10 sculptures, okay? I just need to make sure I get the darn commander. This is a crazy kingdom, and this is still the early part of the training portion of this event. Could just be completely crazy. So, a couple other thoughts on this. If you're more of a budget player, then you need to be a bit more choosy. You need to be a good bit more choosy about when you do this. We didn't have that 5% shrine. Strong argument could be made that I should have just waited for a different Mighty Governor when we had the 5% shrine to go completely ham like this. There's also a really strong argument that could be made that, you know what, why don't you just wait until there's a 15% Kingdom rune? Also, could make a good argument for that, and waiting would be advisable in that situation. We went for it in part because, yeah, we're probably going to see, if I had to guess, I mean, like, probably 5 Constantine Mighty Governor cycles, right? Like, he'll probably be here for 5, but what if he isn't? What if he isn't? I know the next one I can't actually do. So this is my last big chance to get in on the first 3 Constantine cycles, and there's really no guarantee that he'll show up in a 4th or a 5th, right? So I'm just gonna lock him in early if I can. If I can. We'll see. The kill event's gonna be nuts. This, I think, is I'll be positioned probably to get the unlock at least, even if I don't have a major showing in the kill event. But man, it's crazy. You can see how we use those army expansions, by the way, right? Those army extenders, I should say, the reserves. We burn through so many reserves. It's kind of unbelievable, isn't it? How many of these reserves we killed? I really like the reserves. I mean, that took a solid 15 minutes. I could have gone a little faster, right? I definitely could have gone faster. But without those reserves, it would take a very long time to do the volume of training we just did. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is by popular demand. Y'all requested it, and so here it is. If you did like it, like and subscribe, and until next time, you have fun. Smashing the kingdom.